Yes, Danika.
Okay. Good morning to one and all present here. I'm Danika Shri from third year Biomedical Engineering. We are gathered here for the webinar on the process of innovation development and technology readiness level by Mr. M. Shri Raman. I would like to call Dr. Sasi Rekha, Assistant Professor of Mathematics Department, to inaugurate the event. Welcome, ma'am.
Good morning, one and all present here. It is my pleasure to be a moderator for this webinar. I am Dr. A. Sasareka, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics. I welcome you all on behalf of Department of Mathematics and Biomedical Engineering. I would like to welcome to our beloved Chairman, Mrs. Dhanalakshmi Raman, and I cordially welcome to our Co-Chairman, RSK Raghuram, RSK Raghuram and our principal, Dr. D. Vasudevan. I heartily welcome to our department heads, Dr. V. E. Jayanti, Professor and Department of Biomedical Engineering, and Dr. A. Nagarajan Sir, Professor and Head of Mathematics for this event. I am happy to invite all of our enthusiastic students and our pillars of faculty and staff members for this webinar. Before starting this program, I would like to invite our Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. M. Sriraman, Business Manager, Annamalai Innovation and Incubation Research Foundation, EDII, Annamalai University. Now he is ready to share his knowledge. We hope so you will enjoy this session to attain more knowledge in process of innovation, development and technology readiness level, and we have lined up for you to be fruitful and engaging. I would like to seek your cooperation in completing this webinar. Thank you for your kind cooperation and attention. Thank you for giving me an opportunity for welcoming you all, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, ma'am. Participants are requested to switch on their video for the screenshot purpose. Kindly please switch on your videos.
Danika, you continue the session.
Okay. Next, I would like to welcome Jay Nageshwaran.
I'm Jay Naiswaran of third year BME.
Ma'am, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Yes.
Jay Nageshwaran, you can continue.
I'm Jay Naiswaran of third year BME. Yeah, wise man's speech is equal to reading 100 books. Yeah, it's time to welcome our chief guest. I would like to call Dr. S. Kailasavalli, Associate Professor of Mathematics Department, to deliver the chief guest address.
Good morning to all. I am happy to introduce our chief guest, Mr. M. Sriraman. He is a chemical engineering graduate from Annamalai University. He is working as manager in Annamalai Innovation and Incubation Research Foundation, EDII, Annamalai University. He is currently acting as a state president of All India Startups and Entrepreneur Association, Tamil Nadu chapter. He is also acting as a member of Change of Atal Tinkering Labs at NITI, IAG, Ministry of Planning Commission, Government of India. He has published one book chapter and more than 14 research papers in the domain of food and environmental biotechnology. He has received Best Paper Award for one of his publication in 2019. He has worked in various research projects of Annamalai University, Indian Institute of Technology, Guwahati, CSIR, Indian Institute of Chemical Technology, and CSIR, Northeastern Institute of Science and Technology. He is an active lifetime member of Scientific and Technical Research Association by the startups community, Tamil Robotics Club, Environmental Foundation of India, and Headset Network Foundation. He is also has experience as principal investigator in a funded project of Institution of Engineers India. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all for the warm welcome. Let me share my screen. Is my screen is visible to everyone?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you for the confirmation. So good morning, one and all. Thank you for joining in this webinar on process of innovation development and technology readiness level. So here are the scopes of today's session, and the key takeaway from today's session will be you will get an introduction about entrepreneurship and startup. Actually, this area is not associated with today's topic, but anyhow, I would like to introduce it to a small extent. And then you will get to know about the process of innovation development. I will go with the stage by stage approach. And finally, you will learn about technology readiness level chart. So let me start the session with a short warm-up activity. In my slide, there are two terminologies. One is entrepreneurship and another is startup. So can any one of you unmute yourself and give a brief on these two terminologies? I just want to know about your level of understanding because your institution is very much active in IAC activities. So I'm sure that you will get to know about these two terminologies in your previous sessions. So if anyone of you unmute yourself and explain these two terminologies, it will be easy for me to take away this session. Even you may be wrong, it's not a matter, but please try to make an attempt.
Sir, entrepreneurship na we should not depend on a owner, sir. We are the owner of that particular organization
Very
or a
good. Your
business.
good name? Your good name?
Sir, my name is Jay Nageshwaran.
Very good. Very good. And for startup?
So startup coming up with new ideas for the social issues.
Social issues. Very good. Very good. Your good name?
Danika sir.
Danika. Okay, fine. Please introduce yourself, students, and then proceed further. Any other answers from your end? Two of your friends explained about entrepreneurship and startup. Any other answers? Okay, fine. Time is running. So as your friends told that entrepreneurship or entrepreneur is a person who has the ability to take risk and start his own venture in a unique way. Actually, entrepreneurship is a terminology derived from the Latin word which means adventurer. So what adventurous likes? Adventurous likes to take risk now. So that's why we have coined this terminology entrepreneurship. So entrepreneur is a person who loves to take risk. And startups are early stage company selling innovative product or service, and they are dependent on human potential rather than capital or investment potential. So as your friend told that startup focus on addressing social issues. So the major key difference between these two terminologies is that entrepreneurship is adding little innovation in a conventional business, and startups are making huge business out of an innovation. Let me explain this with an example. Let's take tea time as example. Actually, tea time started in a small town in Andhra Pradesh called Rajamundri. They started from a small petty shop, and they are currently a private limited company now. They started their journey with selling authentic Assam tea recipe in their petty shop in Andhra Pradesh. Now they have scaled their recipe as a brand called Desi Tea Time India Private Limited in 5+ southern states of India. So selling authentic, unique tea recipe is called entrepreneurship, and scaling that unique recipe into 5 states is called as startup. So I hope you got better clarity on the difference between entrepreneurship and startup. So let me get into the today's session, that is process of innovation development. I'm supposed to explain about the process of innovation development initially, and then I will proceed with technology readiness level. So here are the phases of innovation development. So in first stage, we will start with ideation, and then in second stage, pre-incubation, third stage is incubation, and in fourth stage is acceleration. So here is the entire innovation development process in brief. The four major players in our country who are supporting the process of innovation development are R&D center, pre-incubator, incubator, and accelerator. In R&D center, ideation phase will take place, that is conversion of idea into a technical feasibility study. And then in pre-incubator, you will get to know about the awareness on entrepreneurship, and you will get to know the awareness on scope of startup development and opportunities of startup development. So currently IAC and entrepreneurship development cell are promoting entrepreneurship development in our country. And in this pre-incubator stage, you will develop your business model canvas, you will develop your team, you will get to know about like-minded people, and you will develop your team. You will find your co-founder, you will frame your tagline, you will find your logo. Like that, all the preliminary activities will be done then in the pre-incubator stage. And in incubator stage, you will convert the business model canvas into a minimum viable product or prototype, and then you will enter into go to market stage. Finally, in accelerator, you will scale that product in various parts of our state or country or anything. So who can innovate or who can start a startup? What are the eligibility for innovating, or what are the eligibility for starting a startup? Any individual above 18 in our country with an innovative idea can start a startup legally. So he may be a UG scholar or PG scholar or PhD scholar, or any student pursuing any degree in any domain. That's not a matter. All students can start their own startup. Even faculty can also start their own startup or innovate a product in case if they are permitted by their employer. Only an NOC from their employer is needed for starting a startup in India. But for students, there is no issue. You can independently start your own venture in case if you are above 18. Here are the innovation ecosystem enablers in India. So far, we saw about the stages of innovation development, and then we saw about the various phases of innovation development. And who are the innovation ecosystem enablers in India? They are pre-incubators, starting from pre-incubators like entrepreneurship development cells, Ministry of Education's Institution Innovation Council, Entrepreneurship Development and Innovation Institutes, e-cells and e-hubs, RUSA 2.0's Entrepreneurship Innovation and Career Hub, Department of Science and Technologies, New Gen Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development Center. So these are the primary enablers or pre-incubators of our country, enabling innovation ecosystem in India. These primary enablers, as I told you earlier, they will provide support from starting from business model canvas preparation to team formation. And then secondary enablers come to the topic, come to the picture. So the secondary enablers are incubators like Atal Innovation Mission Foundation, BIRAC, Department of Biotechnologies, BioNest, Department of Science and Technology, National Science and Technology Entrepreneurship Development Board incubators, Entrepreneurship Development and Innovation Institute funded incubators, Ministry of Micro, Small, Medium Enterprise incubators. Pradhan Mantri Formalization of Micro Enterprises Incubators, I-Technology Business Incubator of Department of Science and Technology, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology Startup Hub, or the secondary enablers enabling innovation ecosystem in India. So they are also called as incubators, and in incubators they will help you to build your minimum viable product, and then they will also help you to enter into the go-to-market stage. Finally, tertiary enablers. Tertiary enablers are accelerators who are helping you to scale up your business or venture or product. Most of the tertiary enablers are private centric. Government is not supporting accelerators through their funding schemes, but many government bodies like Department of Science and Technology, Biotechnology, Electronics and Information Technology are funding incubators. So let's see about the innovation essentials in various stages. So I'm sure that you are aware of the various stages or phases of innovation development. And now let's see about the essentials in various stages. First, we will start with stage one, that is ideation. And in ideation stage, all you need to have initially is a good idea. That is an innovative idea which is feasible and can create a huge impact upon implementation. One of your friend told that a startup should be a societal problem centric and it should solve societal problems like that. Your idea should also bring a huge societal impact upon implementation. So how can an idea create huge impact? Yes, it can create a huge impact, societal impact, when it solves a huge problem. So start with problem statement identification and not with novelty identification. Your novelty level may be whatever it may be, but your problem identification is very, very essential. So let me explain this with an example. That is the evolution of suitcase industry. In my left side corner of slide, there are some trunk suitcase which was used in World War period by army people and other people. So it was very, very heavy to carry, right? After that, some trolley were brought into the market to enable easy carrying of these trunk suitcase. Then later in 2000 centuries, many companies like American Tourister and VIP and market giants in suitcase industry introduced trolley suitcase. What is trolley suitcase? Trolley suitcase is nothing but a suitcase having four wheels in the bottom and a handle in the top. So the innovation level is very, very low in this product. Actually, what they have brought into the existing product, suitcase is already existing, and they have introduced only four wheels in the bottom and very four small wheels in the bottom and a small handle in the top, right? So the innovation or modification in the existing product is very, very, very low, but the impact it brought into the market is very, very high. What impact it brought into the market? It solved the pain point of many travel freak or many passengers or many people who are passionate on traveling. So people who are often traveling cannot carry heavy loads, right? So these small trolley suitcase, the small trolley in the bottom of the suitcase help many travel freaks to enable them to carry the loads easily. So this is the innovation. Your innovation level may be small, but the impact it should bring is definitely it should be huge. So I hope you are now okay with what is an innovative idea or impactful idea. Now let's see the strategy of identifying problem. I already told that we have to start with problem identifying rather than novelty identifying. So how to identify problem? There is a strategy called design thinking strategy for identifying societal problem statements. So design thinking. Actually, design thinking is a big ocean, but now I will explain about the first three phases of design thinking alone. Design thinking starts with empathizing and then defining, ideating, prototyping, and testing. In first phase of design thinking, we have to empathize. What is empathize? You have to understand the user's need in his point of view and identify problem statements. Then in second phase, you have to define your problem statements, analyze your observation. And in third stage, think of possible solution that can solve that problem statement. So these are the three major phases associated with today's session. And then the later stage of design thinking or prototyping and testing. So prototyping means developing a physical solution with your idea, and testing is developing that physical solution. Sorry, testing that physical solution. And for this design thinking approach, you should think out of box. What is out of box thinking? Let's have an activity now. In my slide, there are some numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a question mark is there. So one number is missing, and the question mark is in that particular place. Can any one of you guess what is that number? As I told earlier, you may be wrong,
6.
but that doesn't matter.
Six.
6. And the logic behind, I also want logic behind the answer because I don't encourage random answers. And
In
what is the
first
logic behind 6?
in first row there will be a odd number. In second row there may be a
Okay,
even number.
even
The
number,
third
even
even number
number.
is a 6.
Yeah, good answer, but the answer is not right. I'm expecting some other answers. In the title itself, I have mentioned that it is out of box thinking activity. So please think out of the box and then answer this puzzle.
Sir, 7.
7. And the logic behind that answer. Anyway, the answer is not right, but anyway, I would like to know the logic behind that number 7. And student, please introduce yourself and then proceed with answering the question. Someone who told 7, can you please explain the logic?
So does this work in any application, like any device or any
That is
vehicle?
not associated with your technical device like that. It is simple puzzle only,
Mm.
which is associated with your day-to-day life.
Sir, good morning. Myself, Madhuravani sir, biomedical third year.
Yeah,
Is
good
it?
morning.
I think in car reverse gear, no sir.
Yeah, exactly. Very good, very good. Your good name, please?
Madhuravani sir.
Madhravani, great, great, great.
Reverse
Your
symbol.
answer is exactly right. That's what out of box thinking is very, very essential. And hats off to you. Your answer is right. In car, and I think you can explain the logic, Ms. Kadravani, to your friends.
Yeah, sir. As you said, day-to-day life. Next moment I caught the gear symbol in my mind, sir.
Okay, great,
One,
great,
two,
great.
three, four, and at last here will be reverse symbol. So
Yeah, great, great. So basically, you try to answer this puzzle out of the box, right? That's great. That's great. As your friend told that the answer is R. Like this, out of box thinking is very, very essential for developing a product and for design thinking approach. So now we are entering into the next part. That is feasibility study. Feasibility study is classified into technical feasibility and market feasibility. And in technical feasibility, you can easily go for it through your R&D cell, research and development cell, with the help of your guide, project guide, or a mentor. And for market feasibility studies, you have to assess your market. Your market should be your problem should be the need of the hour, and it should create a huge impact, as we discussed earlier. So these are the feasibility that need to be carried out with an idea before proceeding into the next stage, that is stage 2 of pre-incubation. If you are done with idea development and problem statement identification and carrying out feasibility studies, you have to step into pre-incubators. Pre-incubators are nothing but, as we discussed earlier, Innovations Institution Council and Institution Innovation Council and Entrepreneurship Development Cells are the pre-incubators. In these pre-incubators, you will get support to develop your proof of concept, You will get to know about like-minded people in this particular entrepreneurship club or entrepreneurship development center, and you can find your partner or co-founder, and you can build your team. And then you can frame a brand name for your team. You can design a logo for your team. You can design a slogan for your team. Like this, all the preliminary activities can be done within this pre-incubator. After that, you have to prepare your business model canvas. Earlier itself, I have insisted about this terminology. So let's see brief about this business model canvas preparation. Business model canvas preparation is nothing but is a PPT. It's basically a PowerPoint explaining your idea within 10 slides. And business model canvas basically focuses 80% on your commercial aspects and only 20% on your technical aspects. As an engineering graduate, I hope all you guys are very much strong in technical background, but these business 80% weightage will be new to you guys, I think. So first, business model canvas starts with problem statement identification. So everything starts with problem statement identification. And the particular business model canvas I am displaying in my slide is called lean canvas. There are many business model canvas. The popular and prominent business model canvas used by investor in our country is, and the US is, business model canvas or proposed by lean canvas. And some other canvas or Gai Kawasaki canvas, all are similar, but slight changes will be there. Gai Kawasaki canvas is there, and then value proposition canvas is there. But the majority of the investor will say you to prepare lean model canvas. So lean model canvas starts with problem statement identification or problem statement projection. You have to project your problem statement associated with your product, and then you have to segment your customer in slide 2. You have to identify your target customer and point out them. And in slide 3, you have to say about your uniqueness or novelty. It is also called as unique value proposition. Your unique value proposition should be single, clear, compelling message that states why you are different and worth buying. And in fourth slide, you have to focus on your innovation or solution. So you are speaking about your technical part only in the fourth slide. The first 3 slides are associated with your business. And in fourth slide, you can explain about your technical features of your product and solution proposed for the addressed problem statement. And in fifth slide, you have to project your unfair advantage. Unfair advantage is also known as unique strategic assets, which prevents copyability of your product with your competitors. So basically, I hope you all are aware of IPR filing. So intellectual property rights filing. You have to file your copyright, trademark, and you can file your patent in case of a technical product. In case of a business brand name, you can file a trademark. So you basically, startups need a trademark filing and patent filing only. You have to file your intellectual property assets to prevent copyability and save your unique strategic assets. And in slide 6, you can point out your revenue streams. In what way you are planning to bring revenue to your business or your company can be pointed out here. And in slide 7, you have to split up your cost structure. You have to split up and display your cost structure, such as fixed cost and variable cost associated with your product development. And in 8th slide, you have to explain about your key metrics. So what is key metrics? Key metrics are nothing but the growth indicators. For example, an institution like PSNA college, key metric is nothing but the placement rate. Number of students getting placed in a year is their key metrics. And for a television, their key metrics is their TRB rate. And for YouTube channel, the subscriber is their key metrics. So like that, you have to pinpoint your key metrics for your business. Key metrics are simply, they are growth indicators. And finally, in 9th slide, you can point out the channels in which you are going to distribute your products. The most prominent channel or producer, wholesaler and retailer model. So like that, if you are dealing with e-commerce, you can point out that. You can describe about your channeling features of your company in this 9th slide. And finally, in 10th slide, you can say thank you and you can explain about the key askings from the investor or a particular incubation center. So in pre-incubator itself, you have to prepare your business model canvas with your idea. Actually, business model canvas is a big ocean. I have just thrown some light for you guys on the topic. And after developing a business model canvas, you can approach an incubation center funded by government of India or state government of India for developing your idea into a product and entering into go-to-market stage. In incubator, you will start with company incorporation. Actually, in India, as per Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade regulation, you should incorporate your company under three category. That means a private limited company are eligible for recognition as a startup. LLP, limited liability partnership firm, are eligible for getting recognized as a startup, and also partnership firm are eligible. Other firms are sole proprietorship firm, one-person company, private limited firm, and also micro, small, medium enterprises firm. But these category will not fall under startup category as prescribed by Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. So you should incorporate your company in only three categories. That is a private, it may be a private limited category or a LLP category or even partnership category. After incorporating company, by default, you will be supposed to open a startup current account. I hope you heard of current account earlier. Every business should own their current account. In case of startup, maintaining minimum balance for a particular lock-in period is not viable, right? So many banks such as HDFC, ICICI, Yes Bank, State Bank of India, and the Bank of Baroda are offering you startup current account. The major advantage of the startup current account is that you no need to maintain a minimum balance in your account for a particular lock-in period. And also in case of future fundraising through district industry center loan, you no need to show any collateral documents. Basically, your track record shown in your current account is more than enough. And also they will offer you some vouchers in partnership with various organizations. For example, Bank of Baroda is giving you 1 lakh worth startup vouchers, which contains Amazon Web Service credits, Microsoft credits, IBM credits, and then Vakil Search credits. Like that, it will contain some voucher package around worth around 1 lakh. So these are the benefits of opening a startup current account. After opening a current account, you should go for DPIIT recognition. DPIIT is Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. I hope in recent days you should definitely cross across this terminology, Startup India. So Startup India comes under this Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. Startup India is the regulatory body in India which can offer you startup recognition. As I told earlier, only if your company is incorporated in private limited or LLP or partnership category, you are able to get recognition from this body. In Startup India, they will ask you for about your innovative idea and the impact your idea could create, and also your commercial aspects. With these criteria, they will judge your level of innovation, and then they will award you startup recognition. After getting Startup India recognition, the other registration you need to get, or maybe GST registration, goods and service tax registration. If you are an export-based organization or export-based business idea, you can get import-export code registration. And finally, Udyam portal registration. Udyam, it was earlier called as Udyogadar. It is regulated by Micro, Small, Medium Enterprises Ministry. And basically, this Udyam portal will help you to avail district industry center loan scheme for developing your products. So all these things will be supported within incubator. Initially, you should be strong in business model canvas while approaching an incubator. If you are strong in your business model canvas, definitely you can avail all these support, all these mentorship, all these guidance from an incubation center. Next, after completing all the legal compliances, that is all company registration process, you can get your co-working space at a nominal rental cost from an incubation center. Because basically at the early stage, you need to develop a product. Maybe it's a software product, or it may be a physical product. Definitely you should own a space, right, for developing your product. You can rent lease those space from the incubation center at nominal cost. And then you can get mentorship support from incubation center also. Basically, most of the incubation centers are associated with higher education institutions and universities. So professors will be directly connected with the incubation center, and you can avail their support, mentorship support from incubation centers. And then you can also hire intern, student intern for you are currently student, but definitely if you are going to start a startup, you will be much busy. In that case, you can hire your juniors, you can hire your student intern, and you can extract your benefits from them at nominal stipend rates. As many technology business incubators are associated with higher education institution, it's not a matter to hire an intern. And then you can go for prototype development. Basically, if you are independent startup, you cannot develop your prototype on your own because you need to invest much at your early stage. For example, if you need a 3D printer, you need to buy you need to prototype with a 3D printer, you need to buy a 3D printer, right? But in case if you are incubated with a technology business incubator, you can use their 3D printer at nominal service charge rate, and you can develop your product. Basically, you can lease their 3D printer. And also, if you need an electronic workbench for soldering and desoldering purpose, you can use their premises and you can use their facility at nominal. I'm again against testing at nominal rate. You can use their facility for developing your prototype. And then you can go for testing, validation, and certification. So all the tests will be mostly supported by incubation centers. They will test your product, they will validate your product, and also with their brand name, they will certify your product, which will be very, very helpful for you to market your product. And then intellectual property rights filing, as we discussed, for a startup, trademark filing in terms of business aspect and patent filing or design patent filing in terms of technical aspect is highly essential. So incubation center, maximum of the incubation center has having IP facilitation center, so they will support you through their IP facilitation cell. And finally, go to market stage. It is graduation stage, basically incubator graduation stage. Basically, in this stage, you have two options. Basically, you can market your own product directly and later scale up it through accelerators, or else you can basically transfer the technology. Simply, you can sell that IP and exit from that company. So these are the two options you have in your hand. If you are interested and passionate on business, you can go for option one, definitely. But in case if you are only a tech freak, you can go for option two. And in case if you are selecting option one, you should definitely listen to the further part of this presentation. After go to market stage, you have to hit accelerators. In go to market stage, in pilot level, you will circulate your product and collect feedback from your market, right? With that feedback, you can approach accelerators for marketing strategy implementation, growth consultation, expansion support, networking support, and angel investor and venture capitalist networking. So accelerators will help you for these kind of activities. But most of the accelerators are private centric. Government is not funding any accelerators now. Only Nidhi accelerator of Department of Science and Technology is under proposal, but most of the accelerators are owned by private companies. And here are the other two terminologies you should definitely need to know. One is angel investor. Basically, angel investor is a person or a company providing capital for a startup. And what is the profit of providing capital for a startup? They will provide capital to a startup subject to exchange of ownership equity or convertible debt. That is their profit. And the difference between angel investor and bank is because bank is also doing the same, right? Bank is not taking equity but is providing debt. The major difference between angel investor and bank is that bank provides fund for established business, but angel investor provide fund for budding startup. And bank are more dependent on collateral document, but angel investors are more dependent on idea and potential of you. And then venture capitalist. Venture capitalist is also a person or company providing capital for a startup. They also provide capital to a startup subject to exchange for ownership equity and convertible debt. But there is a major difference between angel investor and venture capitalist. That's why we have coined two different terminologies. The definition may be same. In my slide, the definition may be same, but That is a key difference. That is nothing but angel investor will fund their own hard-earned money in a startup. Basically, all these angel investors are once an entrepreneur in their early stage, and now they have turned into angel investor. And VC are nothing but they are the mediator. They will connect you. They will connect startup with investor. So they don't have any money. They don't have any capital, but they have strong network and they have strong idea assessment skills and investment assessment skills. So basically, they will connect startups in need and investors in need in a platform. That is the role of a venture capitalist. So here are some popular angel investor websites. So I will do one thing after this session. I will share these slides through your professors. You may make use of it. You may visit these websites later for your growth. And these are some popular venture capitalist websites or brand names. And next part is funding scheme and opportunities for innovation development. And so far we saw about the stages or phases of innovation development, process of innovation development in brief, essentials for innovation development, eligibility for innovation development, innovation ecosystem enablers, and also we saw about stage by stage approach of stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and stage 4. Finally, we concluded with angel investor and venture capitalist. And now we are going to see about other funding schemes or opportunities available for innovation development. Do you have any doubts up to this part? I think in the process of innovation development, this is the last part. With this, we will finish this process of innovation development topic, and we will later see about technology readiness level chart. So I would like to know that if you have any doubts up to this part, I will clear. I hope you learned about many new things today. So if definitely many doubts will be in your mind. Okay, fine. I will again give you a chance to ask queries at the end of the session. So the classification of funding schemes or opportunities for innovation development is classified into 3 categories, starting from seed fund, grant, and fellowship. First, we will start with government seed fund. Seed fund, the difference between seed fund, grant, and fellowship is that seed fund is basically a repayable amount at nominal interest rate. But compared to bank loan, the interest rate will be very, very low in seed fund. And grant or nothing, but they are simply like a research grant. You no need to return or pay back the amount. You simply need to submit utilization certificate for the amount you have received earlier. And fellowships are nothing but like research fellowship. Government is also encouraging entrepreneurs and startups through providing fellowship. So first we will start with government seed fund, and Ministry of Human Resource Development through Rashtriya Uchchata Shiksha Abhiyan 2.0 scheme is providing seed fund up to 25 lakh for entrepreneurs in their early stage. So this scheme is basically provided to students in a particular institution. In Tamil Nadu, around 15 universities have been granted this scheme. Annamalai University is one among them. And then Department of Science and Technologies, National Science and Technology Entrepreneurship Development Mode, NIDHI Triple S. Triple S stands for Seed Support Scheme. They are also providing seed fund up to 50 lakh. You can raise that seed fund in your proof of concept stage and not in your early stage. And basically, as I told earlier, this seed fund has to be returned back within a lock-in period. And then Department of Biotechnologies, Sustainable Entrepreneurship and Enterprise Development Fund. So biotechnology through its BIRAC initiative, BIRAC means Biotechnology Industry Research Assistant Council, is promoting biopreneurship in our country to its maximum possible extent. So I hope PSNA college is having a biomedical department, and BIRAC is only focusing on biopreneurship or bio-based entrepreneurship development. So you guys can definitely make use of it. As I told earlier, this RUSA scheme and Department of Science and Technology scheme or sector agnostic. any stream graduate or any stream entrepreneur can make use of the scheme, but BIRAC is only dedicated for bio graduates, biotechnology, biochemistry, and food technology like that. It is only intended for biotechnologists. Now let's see about other grant schemes available in our country. First, we will start with RKVY, Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana, SAPE scheme. It's a scheme of Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Development. SAPE stands for Startup Agribusiness Incubation Program. And through this scheme, a startup at proof of concept stage can avail 25 lakh grant. Please make a note of the 25 lakh grant. Grant is not repayable, as I told earlier. So government is providing you grant up to 25 lakh, and even 7 crore grant is also provided by our government. We will see about that in our upcoming part. And for this grant, you should be working on agricultural domain. Maybe mechanical graduates working on farm equipment development can make use of the scheme. And this Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare is also providing entrepreneurs at their early stage with agripreneurship orientation program. Through this scheme, you can get 5 lakh worth grant. And SAIP is dedicated for scale-up stage entrepreneurs. This AOP is designed for early stage entrepreneurs. Both are intended for agri stream or agripreneurs. And then Entrepreneurship Development Innovation Institute Innovation Voucher Program. It's a sector agnostic scheme, so any stream entrepreneur can make use of this scheme. It's a state government scheme also, so only entrepreneurs from Tamil Nadu can make use of this scheme. And through this scheme, there are two vouchers. Through A voucher, you can avail 2 lakh grant for product development, and then through B voucher, you can get 5 lakh for product commercialization. And then Entrepreneurship Development and Innovation Institute, Tamil Nadu Student Innovator Scheme. So it is also a scheme funded only for Tamil Nadu based student entrepreneurs. Only student can make use of the scheme, and they can generate 1 lakh seed grant at their early stage with presenting their idea. And then EDAA seed fund. Now it is called TAN seed fund. Earlier it was known as EDA18 seed fund. Now the fund is handled in TAN's and Tamil Nadu Startup and Innovation Mission, that is Startup TN. They are handling the seed fund. Through this scheme, you can generate 10 lakh worth grant. But one more thing, this grant is majorly intended for Tamil Nadu based entrepreneurs, and it is also a sector agnostic scheme. So any scheme entrepreneur can make use of the scheme. And this scheme can be availed only if you are in proof of concept stage. And Entrepreneurship Development Innovation Institutes, S2G, Startup to Government Sandbox. Basically, Tamil Nadu government is encouraging Tamil Nadu based entrepreneurs through this scheme. Through this scheme, you can generate 50,000 to 5 lakh grant. And also you can market your own product to government. That is the highlight of this scheme. This scheme is also sector agnostic. And Department of Science and Technologies, National Science and Technology Entrepreneurship Development Boards, Nidhi Praya scheme. Through this scheme, you can generate 10 lakh grant. In ideation stage itself, you can generate 10 lakh grant. It is also a sector agnostic scheme and also a scheme funded by Central Government of India. So any state entrepreneur can make use of this scheme. And Ministry of Electronics and Information Technologies, TIDE 2.0 grant. Only circuit branch based entrepreneurs. Circuit branch means ECE, EEE, E&I, and ICE. Those graduates can you make use of this scheme. Those branch entrepreneurs and graduates can make use of the scheme because it is a scheme provided by Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, right? And TIDE stands for Technology Incubation and Development of Entrepreneurs Grant. Through this scheme, you can generate 5 lakh to 7 lakh grant. And also any state entrepreneur can make use of this scheme as it is funded by central government. And Startup India PRISM scheme. PRISM stands for Promoting Innovation in Individual Startups and MSMEs. Through this scheme, you can generate 20 lakh grant. But the major criteria is that you should own DPIT recognition certificate while applying for this grant. And BIRAC, other BIRAC grants. So biomedical graduates, please make a note of it. BIRAC is providing n number of grants starting from biotechnology ignition grant. In ideation stage itself, you can generate 50 lakh grant. But the only thing is you should work on biotechnology domain or food technology or agricultural technology, chemical technology like that, bio-allied domain. And then contract research scheme. And academicians, please make a note of it. Contract research scheme is dedicated for bio-based academicians. Through this scheme, they can develop an innovative product and they can sell that innovative technology transfer mechanism. So through this scheme also they can generate 50 lakh grant, and then launching entrepreneurship driven and affordable product scheme, that is LEAP scheme. Through this scheme you can generate up to 1 crore capital, and for this scheme you should be in market traction stage, that is go to market stage. And accelerating entrepreneur scheme ACE, through this scheme you can generate 7 crore grant. Please make a note of it, 7 crore grant. This entire grant is not need to be repaid. In case if you are working on biotechnology domain, you are really very lucky, so you can definitely make use of this scheme in your future career. And for this accelerating entrepreneur scheme, you should run your business for minimum period of 3 years. If your track record is good, they will support you this through this scheme. And MSME's Design Scheme Grant, Ministry of Micro, Small, Medium Enterprises Design Scheme Grant. It's worth about 40 lakhs. It's majorly intended for micro, small, medium enterprises for designing their industries. And DPIT Startup India Seed Fund Scheme. Through this scheme, you can generate 20 lakh grant and also 50 lakh seed fund. 20 lakh grant is for startups in their early stage, and 50 lakh seed fund is for startups who are in their go-to-market stage or commercialization, pre-commercialization stage. Seed fund has to be repaid with the normal interest rate, and grant does not need to be repaid. So finally, we are going to see about fellowship available in our country for entrepreneurship. First, we will start with Department of Science and Technologies Nidhi Entrepreneur in Residence Scheme. Through this scheme, you can generate a fellowship of 30,000 per month for a period of 12 months. So see that nowadays engineering graduates are not even getting this much of salary, but the government is providing you fellowship worth 30,000 per month for pursuing entrepreneurship as a career. So this is the current status in our country. Please make use of it. Basic thing is students are not aware of this scheme, and you guys are very much lucky to know about this scheme. So please make use of it after your graduation. And BIRAC SPARSH scheme. So BIRAC is intended for biotech graduates and biomedical graduates only. Through this scheme, you can generate 50,000 per month fellowship for a period of 18 months, along with a 5 lakh of innovation mini kick grant. So you will get two-in-one fund. You will also get grant worth 5 lakh and 50,000 per month fellowship for a period of 18 months. And MEITI tight grant. MEITI is intended for circuit branch based on entrepreneurs. And EAR stands for Entrepreneur in Residence Scheme. Through this scheme also, you can generate 30 to 36,000 per month as fellowship. And then IIT Kanpur's IAIN Fellowship, India Agri-Tech Innovation Network. It's basically an association formed by IIT Kanpur's food technology alumni students. And they are supporting agripreneurship with a fellowship of 50,000 per month for a period of 12 months, 1 year, that is. And only agri-based students or agri-based entrepreneurs can make use of the scheme. So finally, we are entering into the next part, that is technology readiness level. I think only 5 more minutes are there, but I'll try to complete the session within 10:35 because it is also an important topic. Is there any issue? Can I take time up to 10:35?
Yes, sir. No problem, sir.
Okay. But I would like to know that if you have any queries up to this part, because so far we have completed with the process of innovation development. So if you have any queries up to this part, please free feel to clear the doubt. Okay, time is running. Technology readiness level chart. Actually, this technology readiness level chart is basically framed by NASA, and it's earlier adapted by many agencies, including BIRAC, and many agencies are following this technology readiness level chart. So please take a snapshot of this slide. I will also explain one by one stage in my upcoming slides. Now, it's an activity. It's not activity for you guys, but I'm going to take this part in an activity manner. Now we are going to reverse track the various technology readiness levels of the process of drug development. I have taken drug development because it will be very much apt for the current situation in this COVID-19 situation. I hope you all have participated in drug development hackathon of Ministry of Education's Innovation Cell. So I have taken drug development as the topic, as you all guys are aware of COVID-19 drug discovery hackathon. First, we will start with TRL level 1, technology readiness level 1. In technology readiness level 1, only observation takes place, data observations takes place. Basic principles are observed and reported in this TRL 1 stage. In case of drug development process, doctors used to observe the patient regarding their progress, and then they will document those observation for next TRL 2 stage. And in TRL 2 stage, with all the observation data, basic desk research will be carried out. Basic desk research means framing work plan or methodology for process of innovation development. And in case of drug development, some desk study will be carried out, some equations will be derived, and some other research will be carried out on desk level. After that, that data will be used in TRL 3 stage for proof of concept development. In proof of concept development, you need to show how your idea can be feasible. You can use an equation to prove your feasibility, or in case if you are working on mechanical product development, you can use simulation softwares for proving proof of concept. Or if you are working on aerodynamics or some other area which is closely associated with mathematics, you can show some clash calculation for proving your concept. In case of drug development, basically equation will be balanced and proof of concept will be established. After that, with that proof of concept, prototyping will be done in TRL 4th stage. In prototyping means production of first sample in lab scale using laboratory equipments. In case of drug discovery, using laboratory equipments like beakers and test tubes, basically prototyping will be done. And this prototyping will be tested and demonstrated in TRL 5 stage. So you can see that a rat using, I know you all are aware that drugs are used to be demonstrated or tested using rats. So in TRL 5, laboratory testing and demo of integrated system will be done. In case of drug discovery, they will go for testing using rat. And if you are developing any chemical product, you can go for HPLC or chromatography analysis for testing your product. If you are developing any mechanical product, you can check your compression strength or stability strength. Even civil can go for testing those criteria. And after completion of testing, you will go for optimization and verification. So prototype system will be basically optimized and verified in this TRL 6th stage. And I would like to know that, are you aware of this terminology optimization? Can anyone explain what is optimization? Okay, fine. Optimization is nothing but maximizing yield within minimum time frame at a minimum cost. So basically, industries don't focus on maximization because maximization is not their intention. They basically go for optimization, and optimization means maximizing the yield within limited time frame and within limited budget. So this is called as optimization. And using this testing results, you will go for optimization and verification in TRL 6th stage. And in TRL 7th stage, you will go for pilot launch. So in my slide itself, you can see that pilot is nothing but which is a scale between lab scale and industry scale. It is a semi-lab scale. I will call it as a semi-lab scale or semi-industry scale. In that scale, you will go for pilot production in this TRL 7th stage. After pilot launch, you will again go for certification and production in TRL 8th stage. You will complete your system and you will get recognition or quality from your quality clearance from your recognition body. In case of drug development, you need to obtain approval from FDA. FDA, any idea on FDA? Okay, Food and Drug Administration Department of USA. So you will get, if you are developing a drug product, you definitely need to get clearance from them, and then you can start your production. In TRL 9 stage, it's basically commercialization or entry into the market. So system proven earlier will come into operational environment. In case of drug development, you can see that a marketing representative or medical representative is marketing a product to their doctors, right? So basically in TRL 9 stage, you will go for commercialization of your product. So these are the various stages in drug development process and also technology readiness level. So with this, I will end up my session. Here is my contact information. You can make a note of it for further communication, or in case if you are having a good idea and you are looking for launching your own venture, you can definitely approach us. So please make a note of my mobile number and my ID, and you are always welcome to approach us. If you have any doubts now, you may clarify it now. Today we saw about a lot of topics, new topics. We saw about process of innovation development in a stage by stage approach, and also we saw about technology readiness level. I definitely know that today you learned about many new terminologies and many new things. Automatically, if you are getting to know about many new things, definitely some doubts will be there in your mind. And now it's the time for you to clear your doubts. I will also share my presentation through your professors. So you can earlier Google those funding schemes. Basically, those funding scheme slides will be definitely useful for you. You can also go and check angel investors and venture capitalists websites. Come on, students. Don't you have any doubts? Okay, it's fine. In case if you wish to share your idea, which is in early stage, means you can also share it here. Let's have a live evaluation of your idea. You may also share your innovative idea in your mind here. I will suggest suitable measures to be taken for you guys.
Okay, sir, we will contact you, sir, if you have any idea.
Thank you, thank you. It seems your professor has posted a feedback link in chat box. You may also leave your valuable comments and suggestions there.
Thank you, sir. That was an awesome speech. We have learned a lot during this session. We will contact you further if we have any queries. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you, students.
Participants are requested to fill the feedback form for the certification purpose.
Now we are at the end of the session. I would like to call Mr. Shubha, Assistant Professor of BME Department, to give the vote of thanks.
Good evening. It gives me a great pleasure to propose the vote of thanks to all who have helped us in making this event such a resounding success. First of all, I would like to propose a hearty vote of thanks to our guest speaker, Mr. M. Sriraman, Business Manager, Annamalai Innovation and Incubation Research Foundation, EDII, Annamalai University, for gracing today's event a grand success. Thanks for creating the awareness of startups and the process involved in the innovation ecosystems in India and the different stages of technology readiness level. I would like to thank our distinguished speaker, Mr. M. Sriraman, for the excellent presentation and making this event more meaningful. I'm very happy to express my hearty thanks to our pro-chairman, Thiru R.S.K. Raghuram, and our principal, Dr. D. Vasudevan, for encouraging us to conduct such event. I would also like to thank Dr. V. Jayanti, Head of Biomedical Engineering Department, and Dr. A. Nagarajan, Head of Mathematics Department, for their support and guidance. I'm happy to express the vote of thanks to all the faculty members and staff members who have made this event a grand success. Finally, I thank all the student participants from second, third, and final year of biomedical department. Once again, I thank all for your cordial cooperation. Thank you all.
So thank you all. Thank you for your patience and listening. And with all your permission, I am leaving today's session. So if you have any good idea, please do share it with us. We are definitely here to support you guys. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
sir.